For the first time in 70 years, Ottawa may take control of its air power, a decision that could change NATO's balance forever.
Breaking tonight, Canada may build fighter jets without asking America for permission. For most people, that sentence sounds unreal, almost dangerous. For others, it sounds overdue. And for some in Washington, it sounds like a quiet crack in a system that has existed for decades. Because for nearly 70 years, Canada has never truly made this kind of decision on its own. Canada has flown American fighter jets, relied on American engines, and accepted American rules as the price of security. But tonight, something is different. Something is shifting beneath the surface, and it could redefine Canada's future, its sovereignty, and even the balance inside NATO. On the outside, Canada appears strong. Canadian pilots train alongside allies. Canadian jets patrol shared skies. Canada participates in NATO missions and joint exercises, but real power does not come from appearances, it comes from control. And control, in modern warfare, does not sit in the cockpit. It sits inside software systems, maintenance networks, supply chains, and engines. For decades, Canada has not controlled those things. They have existed beyond its borders, mostly in the United States. Every upgrade required approval. Every delay in spare parts meant grounded aircraft. Every political shift in Washington echoed quietly through Canadian hangars. For a long time, this dependency felt safe, even logical. The alliance felt stable. The partnership felt permanent. But history has a way of returning when circumstances change. To understand why this moment carries so much emotional weight, Canada must look back to a wound that never fully healed. In 1959, Canada canceled the Avro Aero program. At the time, the Aero was one of the most advanced interceptor aircraft ever built. It could fly higher and faster than almost anything in the world. It was packed with cutting-edge technology. And it was designed and built entirely in Canada. Then, pressure came. Quiet at first, then unmistakable. Diplomatic pressure, strategic pressure. The program was shut down almost overnight. The aircraft were destroyed. The blueprints were cut up. Thousands of engineers lost their jobs. Many of them would later move south, helping the United States build rockets and spacecraft that carried humans to the moon. Canada didn't just lose an aircraft that day, it lost belief in itself. That decision cast a long shadow. From that moment on, Canada stopped building its own fighter jets. Instead, it bought them. The Voodoo, the Starfighter, the Hornet, all American built, all American powered, all dependent on supply chains beyond Canada's control. For decades, this felt acceptable. Until politics changed. When Donald Trump returned to power, the tone of alliances changed with him. Tariffs returned. Threats returned. Old assumptions collapsed. Alliances that once felt cooperative began to feel transactional. Canada was told to spend more, pay more, commit more. Trump openly joked about Canada becoming the 51st state. He threatened trade penalties and questioned long-standing defense arrangements. Suddenly, what was once unthinkable was being said out loud. This is when Ottawa began asking questions it had avoided for generations. What happens if relations worsen? What happens if spare parts are delayed? What happens if access to critical software is restricted? Because in modern air forces, power is invisible. It lives inside code, data links, and maintenance systems. And with the F-35, Canada does not control those systems. The United States controls the software updates. It controls much of the maintenance ecosystem. It controls key spare parts and engine support. If Washington ever chose to apply pressure, even briefly, Canada's Air Force could be grounded in weeks. This is not speculation. It is how the system is designed. That realization landed heavily. At the same time, something unexpected appeared, an alternative that did not begin with dependence. Sweden made an offer that went far beyond selling aircraft. It offered partnership, local assembly, long-term industrial investment, thousands of high-skilled jobs inside Canada. For the first time in decades, Canada began discussing something it had quietly buried since 1959, the idea of building and sustaining its own air power. But the most sensitive issue was not the aircraft itself, it was the engine. In NATO, engines mean control. Most NATO fighter jets use American engines. That means American export laws, American restrictions, American permission. If you do not control the engine, you do not fully control the aircraft. European countries learned this lesson the hard way. France accepted higher costs so it could remain independent. The Eurofighter partners made the same choice. Canada never truly had that option before. Today, Canada is in a different position. It has a mature aerospace sector, skilled workers, advanced facilities, decades of experience. Companies like Rolls-Royce have operated in Canada for generations. The infrastructure exists, the talent exists. What has always been missing is political will. And political will usually emerges under pressure. Across Europe, the mood is changing. Germany is diversifying its fighter fleet. France continues to protect its independence. Smaller NATO countries are quietly questioning whether buying American weapons always serves their long-term interests. The F-35 was once sold as a symbol of unity. Today, many see it as leverage. Switzerland's experience added to that unease. A neutral country facing cost overruns, political pressure, and loss of control revealed how quickly procurement decisions can become political traps. Canada watched closely. What happened there could happen anywhere. This does not mean Canada is abandoning NATO. It does not mean Canada is turning against the United States. This is not betrayal. This is insurance. True allies do not fear independence. They respect it. Cooperation only works when choice still exists. Still, nothing has been finalized. There is no factory announcement, no engine production line, no fighter jet rolling out of a Canadian hangar. What exists today is something quieter, but just as powerful. A review. A pause. A rare moment of national reflection. Moments like this do not arrive with speeches or flags. They arrive silently. But they shape decades. The decision Canada makes next will define its defense posture for the rest of this century.